Welcome to the Florida Homesteader Podcast, where we bring the pages of the magazine to life, sharing all the stories, the skills, and the spirit of homesteading across the Sunshine State. From backyard gardens to family farms and everything in between, we are here to inspire, encourage, and celebrate the Florida homesteading way of life. I'm Jamie Bateman, your host and editor-in-chief of the Florida Homesteader magazine, and we're so glad that you joined us today. So folks, go grab you some iced tea and let's jump into today's podcast chat. Hey, good morning and welcome back to the Florida Homesteader Podcast. My name is Jamie and I am so excited to have you here today, but I am more excited because I get to talk with my friend Dee Young, and he is with us today from Jarrett Ford. Jarrett Ford is actually one of our advertisers and they are supporters of our magazine. So first and foremost, Dee, on behalf of the family here at the Florida Homesteader, thank you for your support that y'all are doing for our magazine. It's so good to see you today. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
You and I talked before this, and I like podcasts. I love podcasts. So it's nice to be able to sit down with you, a familiar face, and do my first podcast. So this is exciting.
It's pretty cool. I think we're addicted to podcasts. I think we identified that when we had our conversation.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
because,
okay.
especially the podcast where it's a conversation,
Yes.
there's a lot of insight between two parties and then the audience that's watching, whether it's in comments, they're offering different perspectives. So I'm a fan of that. I like to learn, and I like to hear opinions and different viewpoints. So that to me is more entertaining than television or movies. So
Absolutely. Especially when you can relate to the folks that you're
correct.
listening
Yes.
to. Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree.
Oh, yeah, for
They
sure.
become friends or family or something like that. It's just neat. It's a neat bond.
Yeah.
So, well, tell us a little bit about who you are, your position at Jarrett Ford, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Well, my real name's Darian, but everybody calls me B.
Yeah.
I've been here a little over 7 years. I'm the sales manager here at Jarrett Ford. Before I did this, I was actually in the Marine Corps. So this is like a totally different career change.
Wow.
Um,
Thank you for
it's
your
not that.
service.
No problem. Thank you. I actually don't like that.
Oh, sorry.
No, not, and I don't mean it in an offensive
Yeah.
way. I've always had a perspective of when someone says thank you for your service, like no one ever thanks the teacher.
Oh.
No one ever thanks the janitor. Like no one ever thanks any of these people that play a pivotal role in everyday life. So when someone always said thank you for your service, like I always challenge them, did you say thank you to, your kid's teacher?
Yep.
Or did you say thank you to the person at McDonald's in the drive-through?
Mm-hmm.
Or when you're getting on the flight, the flight attendant? Because I've always looked at it that way. Being in the service, that's what we're fighting for, like everyone back home and the luxuries and the freedoms that we have. So I always thought it was super important. It's not about us. It's about everyone back home that you are fighting for. So that's why I say I never like that, because I think it puts you in a pocket. And I don't
Yeah.
think that anybody that serves is better than anyone else. And I think that there are other occupations and jobs that should be highlighted as well.
Well, thank you for that. That's a really neat observation of it. And you're right. You're right. So many people, very important jobs in our business or in our world, in our lives, just need to be thanked.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good thing. So you are the sales manager there. You've been there 7 years.
Yes, ma'am.
You obviously then know Bill and Lisa Jarrett are the part owners, I guess, because the family owns Jarrett Ford
Right.
family, but his name is on a lot of stuff. Bill
A
Jarrett
lot of
Ford.
stuff.
He's everywhere. Tell us a little bit. You obviously know their mission. You know the legacy, the story, a little bit about Jarrett Ford. So tell us who, for those who may not know, who is Jarrett Ford?
I would say at the heart of it, Jarrett Ford is just, I think Bill is the head of a lot of people. They haven't been blessed with the opportunity to just sit down and talk with him. He's a very different individual, but I mean, he means he means the world to me, and he means the world
Okay.
to a lot of people.
He does.
Bill is one of those ones where he's a leader. Like I say all the time, like he's not just an owner and not just a businessman, he's a leader. When you start your day, he's gonna be the tip of the spear. So everything that we do revolves around Bill and, morally and ethically going about business in the right way and being able to go back and pay it forward to people. Bill's big thing is on time. So giving people back their lives, whether it's the customers, whether it's us as employees, whether it's the community. So I think that's where, when you think about the Jarrett Group as a whole, it's going to start with Bill. Specifically here in Avon Park, I mean, you have Bill and Lisa. I call her Mama J, like, because that's all I know. Like, she's like my mom. You go to her for everything and you can confide in her. And the same thing with Bill. But they're just two genuinely good people who mean a lot to the community and a lot to us. And they have very effective leadership, being able to come in every morning and just start your day knowing that you can look to two people for the guidance and they're going to set the example for the rest of everyone else.
Absolutely. And I want to echo some of the things that you said, because you've really nailed it as far as Bill and his character. I don't think he's ever met a stranger. I don't think he's ever met anyone who's not a friend. Like when you first meet him, he's your friend. Lisa's the same way. They both will welcome you open arms, whether you meet him to buy a car or you see him at one of the community events that they are very passionate about supporting. He's gonna welcome you as though he's known you for 20 years. He's just her as and Lisa also. That is just their God-given gift to people.
But yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah,
absolutely.
for sure. I look at the two of them like they they're inspirations to a lot of people
They are.
because as much as they both have achieved on an everyday, you will never know. Like,
Mhm. Right.
if you would just never know the things that I've seen them do for others and the way that I've seen them carry themselves and go about things. Like you would never know
Mhm.
the amount of success that they've had. You would never know the trials and tribulations that they've had.
Mhm.
They just keep going.
Mhm.
And I mean, you look at that and how could you not be inspired by something like that?
And the way that they support the community too, and we're not just talking Avon Park. How many I should know the 6, 7 dealerships now across the
There's six. There's
6
six.
dealerships across the state, and
Yeah.
it's not just in any given community, they are philanthropic across the state. They're everywhere, but you wouldn't know it because
Right.
they lead with that servant heart that God has given them.
Right.
Yeah.
And not even just the state. There's been certain things that when the last hurricane, I can't remember the name of it, but it affected Georgia. And our office manager, her family frequents Georgia all the time. She has a little tiny home. And she just came back and told us the devastation that happened. And Bill, being who Bill is, he galvanized the troops and said, okay, what are we doing? Do you guys want to do anything? He put it in our hands. But when you have a guy like that comes in every morning and he leads you, how could you say no?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I've been a part and I've seen a lot of things that even spreads outside of Florida, outside of
Mhm.
the stores that you're like, we're gonna do it.
Mhm. Yeah. That's neat. It really speaks to them and their whole family. Their family is entwined throughout all of these dealerships also. It's not just Bill and Lisa.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. Like yesterday, we had Bill's nephew. He's a young man trying to, learn how to run a dealership, and he was here. And Bill's son and Lisa's son is involved, and it's just it is a family oriented business.
It is. Absolutely. So kind of going off of that, we see the values of where they are today. And obviously what has helped bring them to that today. How do you think those values are kind of guiding the dealership or the dealerships now and on into the future? What does that look like?
Honestly, I think it looks great
Mhm.
because they have systematically created a process of their values, their morals, and their ethics Every single department and every single store is going to talk about this collectively every
Yeah.
6 weeks. And even between there, we're always on the phone. So we're always on the phone. We're always talking. We're always passing ideas. Sometimes we forget, but they remind us, hey, remember that problem that you stumbled across? Does anyone else know that you dealt with this problem? They might have had the same problem. So I do think that, it's going to carry forth
Hmm.
because even after he's retired and he's done, I mean, he's just imprinted this in us all that you have no choice but to operate like that.
Is he going to retire? I feel like he's like the Energizer Bunny. Like you can't. Doesn't he like start his day at 5:30 making a run? And he runs to the dealership, gets it open, and runs back and takes a like. Is he really going to
But
retire?
I don't think so. Right now, they're on vacation this week. And
Huh?
truth be told, we're all lost because you would think that most of the time us managers would have to come in and we would have to open up our prospective departments. We
Right?
don't. Bill
Because he
comes out at
doesn't.
5 o'clock every morning. He opens up everything. He turns on every light. He pulls out all the cars.
Uh
So
huh.
when you get to work, you are just working. You don't
Yeah.
have to worry about this.
Hmm.
So little stuff like this morning, I was running around trying to get ready, and they're like, "Dee, the gate is locked." And I'm like, "Oh, let me go get my keys because I don't do this unless he's not here." So
He's
no,
gonna
I
hear.
don't.
He's gonna hear this later. He's gonna be like, I can't leave town. Nobody unlocks the
No,
gate. I can hear him
don't worry,
now.
Bill. When you see this, we gotta take care of
The
it. But
gate's unlocked,
no.
Bill. The gate's
Yeah,
unlocked.
the gate's unlocked, but we just don't do it. And I don't think that he ever will retire.
Yeah.
He and I don't he loves what he does.
Yeah, he does.
He loves being here,
You could
you
see
know.
it in his face when I hope that the listeners get an opportunity to meet them because you see it in his face. He's just beaming all the time. He's always got a smile.
Jamie, I'll tell you, I've been here and I've been, I may be closing out a deal or just working late and he's here.
Hmm.
And he's like, you want to go home? And I'm like, I got work to do. And he's like, okay, if you're working, I'm going to work. I'm just going to go down to my office and I'm going to finish things up. Same thing with Lisa. Like,
Hmm.
if you're working, she's working. Like, I tell them all the time, like, you guys need time off. Like, don't worry
Hmm.
about it. We got it. And they're like,
Yeah.
because they genuinely enjoy it. So
Yeah, they do.
I don't think he ever retired.
I don't think so either. I don't think so. All right, so we're going to switch gears just a little bit. Obviously, our podcast is related to Florida ag.
Mm.
We are the Florida Homesteader, so we are featuring farmers and homesteaders across the state telling their stories. We like to tell stories. Ford, in history's sake, has always, I think, been part of the ag world, the agricultural world. How do you see it from your perspective as far as how ag has kind of developed through the state, but also Ford has developed through the state? So it's like they've almost in unison grown together in a way, adapted to today's needs.
Right. Especially as of late, Ford has put a big emphasis back on rebranding themselves to the commercial work sector, and being able to provide vehicles for a lot of these occupations in manual labor like agriculture. So, they rebranded it and called it Ford Pro. We see it all the time, whether it's the Smoke family or Ben Hill Griffin or the Barbin family, or there's so many different people, yourself and a lot of people being able to utilize these vehicles to perform their job and to create products and produce products for everybody, whether it's citrus, whether it's cattle. So it's huge. That's the backbone of what we do here at Bill Jarrett Ford. Like between all the F series and F-150 and an F-350 dually, an F-250. So, and I think Ford has recognized that at a broader level to say, hey, this country needs this. We need to put a bigger emphasis because we started here.
Yes.
Even though we might have kind of strayed away, there's still a big population within the country, specifically in the state, that need this because that is what their economics is based off of. That's what their livelihood is based off of. So, I mean, there's definitely been a big push at Ford and for us to, rebrand that
Hmm.
and, let people know that, hey, for your needs, so you can do your job and for your lifestyle, we're here.
Absolutely. You've been the core of a lot of families, a lot of farmers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. I see that. I see it also. So Can you share a story with us or do you have a funny story or anything like that on how Ford has either partnered with a local ranch or farmer or has just really impacted that farmer's life because of the product or the truck or however?
Okay. So yeah, I got two things.
Okay.
So I'll tell you, I'll tell you a funny story about me and Bill,
Okay.
and when it relates to Ford and philanthropic work and agriculture. I had never been to an FFA live auction.
Okay.
I had never done that before.
Okay.
And Bill asked me, did I want to go to one? I said, absolutely. And he was like, oh, you and I'll go, and it'll be a good time. Perfect. So we go, and it was at the Highlands County Fair.
Mhm.
Now I'm thinking I'm just gonna go with him. I'm gonna observe. I'm gonna have a good time, which I did. Well, he ends up leaving. He gets late and says, "Hey, I want you to bid on animals." And I said, "Okay." Well, night goes on. Before he leaves, he tells me Miss Jarrett likes this young man here buy his pig. Okay, well, I can follow directions. Like, I don't want to let Mrs. Jarrett down. Anything. I think the number, it was an obscene number. I think it was like $8,000 pig or something. Like I walked away of spending $8,000 on a pig, not knowing. All I remember was him saying, buy the pig. I didn't realize how it went that there's a guy behind me bumping the price, and I'm just like, okay, I gotta buy this pig. Yeah, so I bought the
So
pig, and we laughed about it, and I'm like, I don't know, you just gave me your number and said buy a pig, so that's what I did.
note to self, don't give you don't give D your
No,
number.
no. I went back the following year and he was like, look, I got to send you with some supervision. He just, $8,000 on a pig is crazy. I'm like, all
Bet
right,
you the
well,
kid loved it. So
oh, the kid.
the
Yeah.
guy that was behind you bumping up the bid, like, he purposely probably knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he
He had
perfectly,
to
but
have.
I didn't. I was just like, oh, I got to buy this pig. So,
It's hilarious. So you
yeah.
said you had 2 things, so that was
Yeah.
what you
And then the other one, so when it comes to like actual Ford, we've done a lot, just a lot of business in general.
Mhm.
Our biggest probably in agriculture has probably been Hill Griffin.
Yeah.
So that was a funny story because, we're trying to get his notorious green from the factory. And this is the first time young in my career that I'm like, how do I do this? I don't see
Uh-huh.
anywhere where I can order this green.
'Cause it's a
I,
distinctive grain.
yes, it's a distinctive,
Yeah,
yes.
it is a distinctive grain. Most folks probably across Central Florida know and understand what we mean when we say that distinctive grain. And those that are probably further north, if you don't have Ben Hill Griffin in that area, you may not realize it, but it's so just to kind of give a description, it's not lime green, but I don't know, it's like Scooby Doo brown green. I don't know. It's just like
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a weird, like
It's a,
matte
yeah, yeah.
type of green. It's
It's
very distinctive when
It's
you
very
see it.
distinctive, yes. You know it. When you see it, you're like, "Ah,
Yeah.
that's Ben Hill Griffin's truck right there.
But
That's his green."
surprisingly, Ford knows that that green is associated to him.
You
So
mean like Ford, the big company Ford?
yes, Ford
Ah,
big company. Yes, there's only two companies, Ben Hill Griffin, and then there's a wildlife reserve, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think it's in the state of Georgia that have that green. They're the only two people that use that green color.
what do they call that color? Do you know?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
I'm wondering, like Ben Hill Griffin green. Like, that's how I've always known it.
Right, Ben Hill Griffin. That's how I refer to it
Yeah.
originally, is the Ben Hill Griffin green.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, that was a funny story, is
Yeah.
because when I called Ford trying to get this done for the first time with them painting it from the factory,
Huh.
they're like, we know the color, and they give the paint code color. And I'm like, well, it's the Ben
Crazy.
Hill Griffin green. And they're like, it's this color. This is the but okay, okay.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, it was good, and I
Yeah.
learned a lot, and then trying to be on the phone with Hill and try to explain
Yeah.
it, and that was the whole funny part because I called Hill. I said, "Well, I told him it was the Ben Hill Griffin Green," and he's like, "I don't know if they know it by that," and I'm like, "Well, they should."
Let's go Ford, if you're listening, go ahead and just name it Ben Hill Griffin green. We're patent
Yeah,
it, do
for
whatever
sure.
you need to do.
Yeah.
It's there. Ford has you kind of alluded a little bit. Ford's changed. The trucks have changed over the
Hmm.
years. And we've seen them come. We've seen trucks come. We've seen trucks go. The Bronco was here. Everybody loved the Bronco. The Bronco's back. Little Ford Rangers were here. They went away. They're now back. I don't really ever see M50s or 250s or 350s going away. I think they're here to stay. And the farmers across the state would say, "Yay!" If you love your Ford products. Do you have any insight? So we know what has changed, but do you have any insight of what may be to come that either gives a better sense of what Ford's doing because they're constantly evolving?
Yes, because one thing I can say is Ford listens to the people.
Well, that was my point. That was my other little light bulb that went off. Is like they take input.
So as people are buying cars, there's always surveys that go out, and events that Ford has, they're always asking the general public, what do they think? As far as where we're going, they're constantly listening to people and adjusting based off of that.
Hmm.
I always teach my salesmen, find the latest and greatest vehicle and you'll know where Ford is going, like the
Yes.
Expedition.
Yes.
All of the new technology and the equipment and the creature features, that's where we're going. We're just waiting on the subsidiary model lines to come along and they'll start instituting it.
Hmm.
Something so small as what they call onboard scales for, a lot of people who are in agriculture, they want to weigh their payload in the bed. They have that technology available now. Um, like,
Know that.
yes, so there is a feature on Super Duties of where once you are putting things in the bed, it'll weigh it. So it'll tell you how much your payload is without you actually having to guess it or actually weigh it before you put it in the bed. So you can just load it all up and it'll just weigh it for you.
How far back in this years does that go? Like, is that just brand new coming out, or because that's one of those innovative things, that sustainable technology innovation that's taken place?
It rolled out in 2024. So 2024 was the first year for it. Um, and it has been a success across the country because you can get in the vehicle and see it on the screen or the tail light on the side of the tail light, it lights up.
That's
So
cool.
it'll tell you right there on the tail light just how heavy it is,
Neat.
that you're putting in the bed. So
That's neat. That is very cool. I did not realize that, and that kind of went into my next question: is how is Ford balancing tradition with innovation? And you're doing it with that.
yeah, and it's trying to take technology
Mm-hmm.
and merge it with foundation. The foundation is the functionality of a vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
how much it can tow, how much is the payload is, and the tongue weight, and your engines and transmission. That's the functionality. What can you do with the truck?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now that you have the functionality, how can you innovate it technology wise or make this more modern?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what you're seeing right now. These trucks and these vehicles in general, they have the functionality down to a science, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's the technology aspect of how do you make it better for the future?
Mm-hmm.
How does that farmer, if he has all these fruits and vegetables, how do you save him time? It goes almost kind of like what the Bill's mission is, saving the customer's time.
Mm-hmm.
When you hook up a trailer, now as soon as you hook up to the wiring harness, it's having the whole trailer, all of its electronics at your disposal from a screen.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to get out and check the tire pressure sensor. You don't have to get out and check the lights.
Yeah.
You can see around the trailer,
Yeah.
with through cameras. So it's that type of innovation with the functionality and the foundation of what Ford does. I think that the future's bright. I look forward to see where we're at, 5, 10 years from now.
It saves just a few minutes. And every
Mhm.
minute when you're dealing with a farm or ag or anything along that, when you have to, in my case, chase donkeys in the morning or what, you every minute counts. Every minute, it's a blessing in a way.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. You took, a feature like now the vehicles do shift on the fly. You don't have to get out and lock the hubs anymore and none of
Oh,
that.
okay.
From the inside of the vehicle, you can just shift on the fly from two-wheel
Yeah.
drive to four-wheel drive like that, and you know, making it suitable that even the vehicles that's not a truck.
Mhm.
Most of the vehicles now come with all these different drive modes
Mhm.
that no matter where you're at, no matter the environment, the car will never lose its functionality.
Mhm.
It will adapt to where you are, whether
Mhm.
you're in mud, whether you're out in sugar sand, whether you're out in the rain. So it's not just the trucks aspect of it. It could be something as an escape that they're
Yeah.
tailoring it to, maybe it's the, 17, 18-year-old daughter
Mhm.
who's in college. She lives with her father. Her father owns a ranch or a grove. She can have the escape that's economical, but also at the same time, it still serves a purpose that when she goes to the ranch, she doesn't have to get worried about getting stuck.
Mhm.
It can still function just the way a truck may,
Mhm.
not to that level,
Right.
but still saving you the time of having to worry about, okay, am I going to get stuck? Am I
Mhm.
going to be able to pull down this shell rock road
Mhm.
and it's going to break down? No, I mean, they're building it that they're well-rounded
They're
vehicles.
sustainable.
Yeah.
So kind of feeding off of that a little bit with the whole innovation concept when it comes to Ford and what they're doing. Do you remember the show Knight Rider? Okay, he was talking to his car.
Hmm.
If you have an iPhone and if you have the watch, you have Ford Pass. It's
Correct.
on your phones. You could talk to your vehicles, you can lock them, you could start them, but it also sends messages to you if something's wrong if you're not in your vehicle. That's a pretty neat innovation also, that it's that constant connection, communication.
Right. And like you said, Ford Passes is a huge, huge tool for the consumers and for ourselves. So now Ford Pass is going to be that median between us and the consumer, and for the consumer to use that piece of technology in order to stay connected to their vehicle, knowing what it's doing. They may have a flat tire, it may have a recall, something may be malfunctioning on the car. Ford Pass is going to tell you, as well as your day-to-day life. Being able to start it, stop it, unlock it, lock it, turn the lights on, honk the horn. Like you're right. Like it's almost like the Night Rider effect, where
Mhm.
you're virtually talking to the car. Sometimes you're going to do it by way of Ford Pass, and sometimes you do it verbally. So
But y'all, through the dealership, you have access to that Ford Pass also, right? Like, you can see my Ford Pass in a way. Am I
yeah, I'll
right?
clarify. I'll clarify. Yes, we do. No, we're not spying on
I was
anyone,
gonna say, yeah, you're
and
not Big Brother here.
no, we're not. Yeah, we're not Big Brother. But in the event that something happens to your vehicle, we can't see it in service. So service is able to look it up. So sometimes there were, consumers who come up and they're telling a problem, and we can't get the vehicle to replicate it.
So gone are the days of, I swear, I come into the shop and I'm trying to explain the noise to the
Right.
mechanic, and it doesn't, of course it doesn't do it. It's not gonna do it.
Right.
It never does it.
Sometimes, Ford Pass, depending on what it is, it'll tell the service writer and the service manager on what day, at what time this vehicle malfunctioned.
So
So
it's
they
kind
have
of
a
like
point of reference. Yeah.
a tattletale. It's like, ha ha.
Yeah. And it also, every time you start it and every time you turn it off, it's going to run a diagnostic. So it's going to go run through the car to see if there's anything that's going on with it or anything that's wrong.
We had a situation. I have an, as you know, I have an expedition, and our my truck was going off. I have no idea why. We still don't know to this day. Cameras didn't pick anything up, but at 2:30 in the morning, my car just started honking the horn. The alarm started going off and everything. We thought maybe a bear or a raccoon jumped on it or something, but there was no marks, no tracks. It just went off. We didn't know it though until the next morning. Like, I never heard it because where it was parked. But the Ford Pass, Billy saw it on Ford Pass. He's like, "Wait a minute, what
Hmm.
was up with your truck at 2:30 in the morning?" But that's how we knew that it was going off. He went out and checked, there was nothing wrong. Again, it just, we don't know, but we didn't know that it happened until we saw it on the pass.
Right. And what you're saying is absolutely key to people, for people
Mhm.
to know that this technology is available and it will notify you and communicate with you without you having to worry.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you a peace of mind. It's the same thing when we touched on it about technology and where Ford is going. They've taken it a step further to say, yes, you have Ford Pass, but now they get into the tech world of having Google and Alexa and Siri leading the charge when you're actually in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So now, like the Expedition, that's the primary software
Mm-hmm.
is Google and Alexa. So now when you said about Knight Rider, you can talk
Mm-hmm.
to the Expedition now
Mm-hmm.
and tell it what you want it to do and it'll perform.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, though, we've had like Ford Sync system before, but now this is more intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're merging, I would say, like I call it the internet. You're the internet realm with a vehicle to be able to be in it now. And you have the Netflix and you have the Pandora and then you have the Google and you have Alexa
Podcasts.
podcasts behind behind the wheel. We never thought we'd be there,
Yeah.
20 years ago. We're here today.
It'll be interesting to see, and you said this earlier, it'd be interesting to see what's next. It's kind of exciting.
Oh yeah, we get excited because, some of the things that they come down and say, we're thinking about this. And it's like, oh, well, that would be cool. But again, Ford listens to the people and this is the people, the general public, the masses deciding what's happening to these vehicles.
Tell them they need to put um, massaging seats in the Expeditions.
So they brought it back. So they brought it back.
Shut
They
up. I
brought it
mean,
back.
seriously? I didn't mean to say shut up. Seriously?
Yeah, they brought it back. So massaging seats are back in the Expedition. So they brought it back.
Dang, I missed that feature. That's all right. Maybe the next one.
Yeah, the next one.
The
We'll
next
get you
one.
on the next one.
Yeah, exactly. That is so cool. What is your favorite line? What is your in the series of what Ford has to offer, whether it's the cars, the trucks, the Expeditions, the Broncos? What is your favorite?
Honestly, so it's funny that you say this. I was having a conversation with my staff yesterday.
Huh?
My favorite lineup right now is the Escape. I
Is it
love the
really?
Escape. Oh yeah, I love the Escape. I
That
love
is
the
so
Escape.
funny. I love
I
it.
think overall, the Escape is the best valued vehicle.
Okay. Okay.
Um, the Escape fits so many different demographics.
Yeah.
And, it's one of those things. It's Ford's entry level vehicle
Mhm.
and it is going away, which I'm kind of sad about. 2026 will be the last year for the Escape.
Really?
Yes. So
Oh,
that's kind of sad, but I
yeah.
personally love an Escape.
Taylor, our daughter's first car was an Escape, and she actually called it an Escape.
Yeah.
And that thing, I think it was like a 2004, so we bought it used, obviously, because
Hmm.
we put our kids in the used vehicles, and we get the new ones. She loved it. She drove it and drove it. I think she drove it in the ground, and then when she traded it in, it was like she was saying goodbye to her best friend. I think actually somebody on your staff actually bought it from her and kept driving it. They were made great. As
Yeah.
all Ford products are. They are made great. They're built to last. So,
Yeah. I love the Escape. Like, be honest with you, I brought my grandma's Escape this morning to service, and I was just driving it this morning, and I love it. Like,
yeah,
my
that's
staff was
sweet.
laughing at me yesterday because I got asked this question by them, like, "Why do you always talk about Escape?" I was like, "Because I love the Escape." Like,
Yeah.
I'm serious.
So you're gonna have a sad day when that
Yeah,
last day comes. Wow.
yeah. The
They'll bring it
last
back.
one.
They'll bring it back.
Yeah, or they'll bring something similar.
Something.
Right now
Yeah.
we have the Bronco Sport. So the Bronco
Mhm.
Sport is just as great as the Escape. It's
Mhm.
just the Escape has been around for so long that
Yeah.
everyone knows the
Yeah.
Escape. But
Yeah.
the Bronco
Absolutely.
Sport is very similar. It's very, very similar.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. So just a couple other questions because I know you've got some staff meetings you've got to get into. So make sure those gates are still open. Bill's listening.
Oh, yeah.
So what advice can you give to the next generation who are balancing tradition, technology, and community in ag when it comes to Ford products?
First and foremost, I always say like you have to see where you're at in life.
Hmm.
You got to know and be honest and transparent of where you're at and what your lifestyle is going to dictate as far as where you're trying to go or where you're trying to get to. That's number one. You got to stay true to self. And then you got to outline your goals. I think that's a big thing. No matter what you do in life, you have to set these little milestones. Sometimes they're big, sometimes it's small, but you have to outline them. Sometimes it's writing them down, sometimes it's just internalizing them in your head. But you got to start having a conversation with yourself and those that are around you that love and care about you to create that roadmap. And it's okay to deviate. It's okay to fall and stumble, but you just got to get back up, dust yourself off, and tell yourself that you could do it. That's like my number one thing, and just be accountable to yourself and to everyone that's around you.
Absolutely. That's good. It's know who you are, start small, take step by step, grow as you go kind of a concept. And yeah, you really, what you said kind of touches what others have said too. So it's a neat
Right.
thing.
I would say another big thing for me is being able to make sacrifices.
Hmm.
So you got to sacrifice now so you can be successful in the future.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of people don't realize that, they want to play hard now and then work hard later and try to
Hmm.
play catch up when it doesn't work like that.
Hmm.
You got to make sacrifices, and all the time it's not good. I mean, it'll keep you up at night, but trust me, it'll be worth it in the end.
It's a good balance
Yeah,
in
for sure.
things. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm gonna ask where folks can find you, but my last question, I ask everybody of this. This is how we end our podcast on the Florida Homesteader. What is one homesteading skill you would love to learn? Can you think of
Um,
one?
okay, so I want to learn how to like grow like fruits and vegetables.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Like
Nice.
I have a 3-year-old daughter, so I have this idea in my head that like I
Uh,
want like a little mini garden that her and I can
yes.
go out and tend to and watch the fruits of our labor. But I know
Yeah.
nothing about planting, growing.
Well, okay, so you need to subscribe to the magazine. We've got some amazing people who are telling folks just how to get started. And the one thing that we say, which is kind of like what you said, just you take that step to start. You just gotta start. Yeah. And now's the time. And if when this podcast comes out, it's going to be the very 1st of October in Florida. That is the start of our growing season. We are polar opposites when it comes to the rest of the country. So now is the time that you get those seeds started, or you go to your local nurseries and you get your plants, get them in the ground. So you're at the right point.
All right. Well, here's the thing. I'll be texting
Okay.
and I'll read the magazine.
And you
So
can
I
listen to
got
the other podcasts because there are going to be others that are coming on that are going to talk about that. So
for sure.
that'll be
I
good.
for sure
That'll be
will
good.
listen to this podcast
Yeah. It'll be fun.
religiously. I
Yeah.
love podcasts.
Yeah. It'll be fun. All right. So tell folks, how can they find you? How can they get in contact if they are the website, your locations? How can they get in contact with Jarrett Ford?
They did this. I think the best thing, I work 6 days a week, so I'm here every day that
Those
we're
are
open.
wow.
I'm always here. So the best thing is just, call, text, email. I prefer text messages because I'm always running around,
Yeah.
always involved in every single last thing, trying to get to every single last customer and talk to everybody. Also trying to help out with events, and there's a lot of things. I do a lot of training. I've got a lot of people here that are new. So yeah, if you ever come by Bill Jarrett Ford, I'm here. So just ask to
Very
speak to
cool.
D. They'll find me. They'll know
Yeah.
he's somewhere
They'll
around here
know.
running around.
They're they're no. What's y'all's website?
BillJarrettFord.com. Yeah, so
Okay.
it's just www.BillJarrettFord.com.
And on that website, you can check any of those 6 locations across the Florida that is closest
Correct.
to you.
Yeah, because we'll have us and here in Avon Park. There we have Charlotte County Ford, Jarrett Gordon Ford Lincoln in Winter Haven, Jarrett Gordon Ford in Davenport, Jarrett Scott Ford in Plant City, and then you have Jarrett Ford in Dade City, and then we have a St. Pete Mitsubishi store.
Okay.
So,
So y'all are everywhere.
so yep. So you go to our website or any of the other prospective stores' websites, and we share and swap inventory, so they're all
Nice.
on there.
And you're on Facebook too, right?
Yeah, we're on
Also.
Facebook. Facebook. We're starting an Instagram, so this will be an interesting
Okay.
journey.
Okay.
Yeah,
That'll be fun.
and
All
then
right.
TikTok. So we'll be starting our TikTok page here
That'll
in the
be
next
fun.
couple weeks.
That'll be fun. All right.
So we'll see.
Well, Dee, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us on this podcast. This was fun. You
Yeah,
did
it
great for
was.
your first one.
I hope so.
You
We're gonna watch
did.
it back. We'll play it back and we'll go from there. Hopefully,
You
I
did
didn't do too
great.
bad.
No, you didn't. You did great. There's going to be little editing that I have to do. I can tell you that.
All right.
Well, thank you so much. And folks, again, we just want to say a huge thank you to Bill Jarrett Ford for their support of the Florida Homesteader magazine. It's because of support like this that we are able to share the amazing stories of you, our farmers and homesteaders across the state. So thank you, Dee. Thank you, Bill and Lisa. Thank you, Jarrett Ford family. So we appreciate y'all.
Can I say one more thing, Jamie?
Absolutely. Yes.
One more thing. I definitely want to get the message out because I hope I don't misspeak, but I know I'm not. Uh, Anybody in the community, if you guys have something like that, stuff like this podcast or events, we love to go to them. So,
Yes.
and I'm trying myself. I love being involved. If anything, anybody has anything, even if it is in agriculture or something with a school or talking to kids, like for sure, just let us know. And I know myself, I'll be there. So you just got to
Nice.
reach out and let me know.
Okay.
And I love doing stuff like this because I think that is very enlightening. And I take pride in it because I'm 32 years old. So I
Nice.
like starting young and hopefully I can make an impact on people's lives as I go along. But for sure, I know as a company, we love attending events. We love doing podcasts like this. We love being involved. So anyone out there within the community, if you have something and it's
Okay.
important to you, just let us know and we'll see if we can make it or at least show some support.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And
Yes.
I know our listeners do too. So, all right, my friend, I will see you very soon, I'm sure.
Yes, ma'am.
All
You'll see
right.
me. All right.
All right. Thanks, Dee.
You're welcome.
That's what homesteading in Florida means, and that's the story that we're proud to share in the Florida Homesteader. Thank you for joining us today, and a big thanks to Dee and the entire team at Jarrett Ford, a family dealership proud to serve Florida's agricultural community. From pastures to highways, their trucks help keep our homesteading lifestyle moving forward. Be sure to subscribe, share this episode with a friend, leave us a rating, and check out our magazine, the blog, and YouTube channel for even more Florida homestead inspiration. Until next time, keep growing, keep preserving, and keep that homesteading spirit alive. Y'all come back now.